Here we go. It's time for another sprint zone. And this one is for 11/21/2023. And it's a good sized crew today. I'm surprised it's like November and people are still in almost their summer clothing. Coming into that section where there's just lots of potholes. And that's the reason we're kind of all over the road here, because the potholes are massive. And I know that Ian called the stabulary or the township on that. Oh, and there goes B-Tree waiting for us as we get ready to start the sprint zone. We will end my digression on the potholes as it is time to get the party started. Looking rearward, we got Ilka and Michael sitting there. Ilka's got that visor. I just don't know. The bike is one thing, the visor is another, but I'm just talking about Ilka because there's love here, Ilka. Just not for me for that visor. But it's all good because you're keeping up and stronger than half the people here. Coming into the corner, looks like one of the riders is like backing off, adjusting something, and you can see the lethargy here already. It looks like no one really wants to hit it. And I must say, going up County Road 5 to this point was painfully slow. I don't know what it was, but I did not get warmed up. I think my average watts was probably like 12. Maybe not that bad. That's a little hyperbole, but anyway, here we go. We make the corner. We got Mark there backing off a little bit. Mr. Highland from the OCR group making his appearance. And we got Ilka back there, and it looks like the pedestrian period is over. Looks like Greg and Jim up front. And what do we have here? B-Train in basically his summer clothing. And this is a warning. So I'd like to thank him for his telemetry on this one. So we've got our immediate power at the top, our 30-second power at the bottom of the screen, along with a couple little compasses. Mine and Byron's. Byron's is to the right, showing our speeds because there will be a difference, and this is important. Looking rearward, Ilka has good position, and you can see the lethargy of some of the people that were caught aback starting to fall off already as the big man. Look at Byron's 30-second power, 4:02 and climbing. Yeah, and I was definitely in a bit of difficulty here. My 30-second power already 240, well above my FTP. And I had done a Zwift ride the night before and got sucked into some of the melee, and my legs were screaming at this point. One, because I did that ride, which was maybe not so bad, but the lack of warm-up on this one, I could just feel the lactic acid searing myself. And I was like, I do not want to be here right now. I really want to be back further. But I didn't want to be back so far as to be gapped off, and it's even more power. So I figure I'll sit here and maybe more people will come up. But that is in fact not going to happen because B-Train is up there. And look, 30-second power still above 300 as we start to relax on the descent. Ilka in good position there. And we got Jim, newcomer, looking strong. And we are already strung out and looking rearward. You can see the selection already being made. People falling off as B-Train has strung it out. Clearly he is cold. Clearly he needs to warm up. And I don't remember the formula, but for every watts of power that make it to the pedal, it's another so many watts more that actually produces heat. And so this is why we are all in a bit of difficulty. You know, my watt is coming down, but at this point, still no time to recover. Looking at my heart rate, and I think it was the wrist monitor. It can't be right. It can't be this low. And looking rearward, look at that, strung out. And look at Byron's heart rate, 164. You know he's working up there and working hard. And you can see the gaps just starting to open. And there he is, no moss from the German rider and the unorthodox helmet with the visor. Jim, strongman, closing the gap there, and we can see it looks like it is basically heads of state that are left here in the mix. We've got Dean coming to the front, and I believe this is where Steve Highland kind of took over, and I was like, no, I am not coming through. Brian waves people through here, but if he would have realized how much difficulty he had put people in, for them to be able to hold that pace, relentless. So here I am stuck in fourth, screaming. My legs are screaming. Look at that 300 watts, trying to recover. And I know later in the ride, my legs did come good, but not during this portion. Roby looking strong, closing the gap. Justin on that Arrow Road 2023. And Elisa, newcomer, amazingly makes the junction and the selection along with Jim. And this is where I have to say adios. My legs are spent, my legs are tired, and because Scott is not here, there isn't a video of what's happening up front. And I'm stuck in basically no man's land. And this is not the place I want to be. In fact, I'm stuck in no man's land, and I can just see them dangling up there. If I had not ridden the day before, or if I'd gotten a little more warm up, I would be right there. Because I can see that they have even slowed down for a bit of recovery after that little acceleration. But alas, if wishes were horses, then beggars would ride. And of course, I'm not riding at this point. So, stuck in no man's land. In fact, this is going to be kind of boring. I'm going to have to, I think, accelerate through the video because no man's land is not really the place you want to be. So we're going to accelerate here. You can see, myself just dangling here, dangling, cars coming through, the front group coming up, dangling, coming through, more boredom coming through. Here they go, coming through. We look up front, and now we'll begin the video again. And so now the catch is on. The group is coming up, and I'm at this point keeping an honest number of watts, but I know that I'm not going to be able to stay away, because there's too many people and I'm just too tired. So looking at my average 30 seconds, 170, not horrible. And let's see who is in this selection. Looks like Joel, looks like Matt from the Fort Collins Club. We got Brian from the Hewlett Packard group wearing his ancient kit. Looks like Rick. We got Ilka, and I forget who this woman is, but she's new and she's hanging on the back. I might have to comment. Also has a visor and doesn't seem that comfortable drafting. Super strong, just not that comfortable drafting. So we got a good look at Ilka and her form. And it looks like, the vest is a little more aero than the ones previously. But looking up front, look at the nice kit on, it looks like Greg there and Rick. That's how kit is supposed to fit. And Greg having the opposite of what Ilka, he's got the aero helmet. In fact, I need to get one of those because that's probably a few watts, even though today I did, in fact, at least bring the aero bike, which, helped a little bit. And we are definitely relegated to the B group. And this is kind of fun. I'm in a group where I am comfortable and people, it looks like they are willing to share some of the load, at least some of the guys up front. I'm guessing Greg did a lion's share to try to pull us back. And at this point, I'm thinking, averaging 148 for the watts. My heart rate is up there also. I don't think it was quite right before, or maybe it was, but just don't trust the heart rate wrist monitor. Anyway, it's my turn to try to come up through here and do some work at the front as I have somewhat recovered. Don't want to do this section without working hard. So not an attack, but I come to the front to help out Joel. It looks like we got Matthew there from the Fort Collins Club, and everybody is nicely echeloned out. There's the women in the back. It looks like she has fallen off a little bit. I'm certain she's probably not riding with a lot of groups or had a lot of training there, but this is a great place to learn that in this group. Looks like surprisingly Ilka falls off. Perhaps the German training camp wasn't good enough, but maybe she too contributed to this chase, but I don't know. So keeping everybody honest here, the last few moments, looks like my 30-second power is a little above 200, looks like 216 or so, and it looks like nobody's looking to attack. Looks like Matthew pulls out of the line. Maybe he's giving up the ghost. Brian does not want to close this one at this point. Looks like Rick is back there, content to follow wheels, and I'm just trying to keep people honest over the top as we coast through. And there is the look of exasperation from Joel, and that's how I felt everybody working hard on this one. That early assault by B-Train, unexpected, and at the time, I'm going to say this, unwelcome. Yeah, although my fault for not preparing the night before or even doing my middle mini taper or getting sucked in on a Zwift ride, which they're always harder than this as far as average wattage, and being mostly fast twitch, my endurance isn't there with a lot of these people. There's the posse. Congratulations to everybody who made that selection, especially Elisa. Well done up there, holding on much longer than I did. She is going to be a force to be reckoned with next spring, and you can look to see her racing in the green colors for First City next year and probably bringing home honor and glory to that team in her gravel endeavors. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Peace out. A good time was had by all.